So hi, I'm on the Good Noise Podcast. I'm Shane.
I'm Glory.
And we're here with...
And I'm Hansel from Nightlife.
And we're asking some questions today about their upcoming EP, Fallback. So congrats on that, by the way. How do you feel about the response to the announcement so far?
I'm really surprised at how excited people are. It's awesome. I mean, I know what it's like to... Well, I just think that I'm hyper aware of the fact that we were gone for like a year. So I'm just excited to be getting more stuff out to people so we can have more to show for ourselves.
Absolutely.
For sure.
EP
I feel like
rocks.
I can't praise this EP enough. It's immaculate. You guys killed
liked it? Oh,
wow.
wow.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, loved the shit that you guys put out last year and have been patiently waiting for new stuff.
Oh, that's always so crazy to hear. Thank you.
Glad that it was in the inbox this morning when I woke up.
Yeah.
I didn't give you enough time to digest, so to speak.
No, it's all right.
Oh, it's okay.
Your trajectory so far is nuts to me. The last time we spoke, it was like hours before you announced the project, and I remember you being like, "Oh, I hope it's well received." Boy, oh boy, was it well received! It's like it's awesome to finally talk to you. Like now that you've had a project out and you're about to put another one out, and like there's already been kind of a response to the announcement, and not just like, "Well, how are you personally feeling?" Because like. We're at day zero here, so it's awesome to chat literally day zero to a year later.
Yeah. Oh man, what a wild thought. Yeah, lots changed. You're right. But no, I mean, I'm excited. I don't know. I'm feeling really good about it, and especially when friends like you guys just like tell me that it's actually good or you like it. I don't know. That makes it easier. It's a lot. I'm still new to putting stuff out, so it's nice to get people to respond well. That's all.
Hell yeah.
For sure. So is there any meaning behind the EP title or cover art?
Oh man, this is where we break it down and I just become nobody. The artwork is just, I finished the music and I wanted something to be the artwork, so I just made that up in a day and was like, okay, let's follow the themes that we did with the last one, keep it easy, use the same assets, keep it easy. And a draft or two later, with some help from a couple of graphic design friends, we were good and set to go with that. So unfortunately, I wish it meant more, but I think it does carry the kind of retro weight that I think we want to go for. Retro in a very interesting kind of pastiche sense, but I mean, you know what I mean, a little bit. And the name, I mean, Fallback was, I think it goes again with the theme of like the retro idea of trying to understand why, like what we're trying to do is figure out why it is that we are going back to the 80s and to the 70s and all that, like why it is that like Silk Sonic comes out and there's all this magic around it, why it is that The Weeknd has really taken us toward like a very 80s specifically direction. And the further or the closer we get to kind of answering that question, I don't know, the more that it feels like the retro vibes of the first artwork and this one kind of makes sense.
Hell yeah. So can you tell us a little bit about your writing process for this EP?
For sure. These songs kind of came together pretty early. So like soon after New Low happened, and it's just kind of taken a while to get them together to a point where we're ready to put them out and ready to put out more stuff behind it so that it's not just kind of floating in the sea. So I guess right after New Low, I think the first thing we did was we just kind of got together, me and Julian, for fun, and we threw New Low so I sent it to a friend rather, and they sent me like a piano rendition that they did of it, so which was amazing. Shout out Dana, that was so cool of her. And we just threw that into a DAW and started playing around that and made a whole interlude that I haven't opened for a year at this point, and I really should. But then from there we kind of started messing with older stuff that we had already done and started working on, and Fallback was actually in there. And this is one of those where I'll really want to actually go back and see how different it was back in the day, because I think it started out fucking entirely different. Just, I almost remember the original sample, and I don't even know if it's in the song anymore, which is so cool. But yeah, and then from there, Fool Me Once happened in March of 2021, like back in the day. And then it kind of transformed and took on this big giant form for a few months that neither Julian and I could really tackle, especially on the vocal end. It just wasn't really, we weren't writing anything that seemed to fit how cool the song could progress. And that was a real challenge, but we got there. It took a long time. And hard for me was the last one. That happened like last month. Something like that. I lied because the 4 songs besides that one are old as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
That one is So last month I copied a Chase Atlantic song to practice, and then the very next day I was just like, oh, well, I have this another day a couple weeks before that. I had taken the ending of Fool Me Once and thrown it into a different session and started to make a beat around that. And I opened it up. I was like, oh, that shit's kind of cool. And so I was in a real R&B spot, and the vocals kind of came really quick. And I was like, all right, this fits as the interlude between the 2 bigger songs, which is kind of like what it is. But yeah. And then No Pleasure's old, but I've said that about all of them. So
yeah.
So there was a lot of time in between the last EP and this one. So what was kind of the delay? In a sense.
It was mostly my fault. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, because I have a lot of learning to do, and especially about how we put stuff out and how that happens, what the process looks like. There was a time, I will say early, where we were in a lot of exciting conversations and stuff, and I got in over my head a little bit because like a lot of people were asking for a lot of music, and that led to me and Julian and Isaiah trying to figure out a way that we could make music quickly, and that was really stressful for a while, actually, because it led to me kind of not knowing what our sound was and which sound would be the easiest one to make over and over and over, and blah, 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 blah. So many months of like weird depression, but a lot of making, because I just was so unsure, and we were all just kind of unsure what we wanted to do. And I think at one point, Julian, and this is now like April, time has passed. Julian sat me down. He's like, "Are you still having fun?" And I was like, "Yo, oops." So then I don't know what it was after that, but it was besides that, that was an awesome conversation we had. Julian always talks really good sense into me, but I looked at the songs that we had that were mostly done at that point, and I was like, I like this one, I like this one, I like this one. They're all kind of weird, or different, but that's what's most fun. And we have the most fun when we do things that are kind of weird and that don't really fit what we've done already, because that's just who we are. And yeah, I think from there it was finally like, all right, let's get these together, get them finished, put them out, move on, do something else. But remember that now we're just trying to have fun. Don't worry about getting a lot of music out to people. Don't worry about this or that. Just make stuff that you're proud of. And we're going to do that. So
yeah.
Good.
I definitely, like, when I asked that question, I was assuming the answer of like there were exciting conversations that wound up delaying it because there was a shit ton of hype behind you guys, and there are people in the industry that love that and will jump on that. So I expected that.
Yeah, I mean, I won't lie. There was a lot of cool stuff happening, but I think I if not we, then I was in over my head. And big leagues are big leagues for a reason, and I'm more excited to figure out what we want to do.
Absolutely.
And slow it down a little bit more like that first.
And when those conversations are happening and like it's like your first release and like there's really no team behind you, it's like even fucking worse. Like
we had no idea what was going on or what we were doing. It was
because then you wind up signing your soul away.
Right. And you really had to be careful. And we made a lot of mistakes that you make. So here we are a year later, kind of a little bit learned, hopefully going to take less time between things this year for sure. But in general, I think it's going to be a nice steady diet of fun stuff from us. Just things that we enjoy.
Okay, good. And are you having fun again?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
Thanks for asking.
Yeah.
It goes up and down because that's just part of the process. But yeah, I mean, today I worked on a cover for fun. That might be a nightlife thing we do. The songs that we have coming out are the ones that were the most fun to make, and thus are the most fun to continue to work on. Yeah, I am. Thank you.
Hell yeah.
I'm very happy to hear that. Okay. So what I want you to tell us your favorite lyric off this EP and the meaning behind it.
Lord, wow. I wish I remembered my lyrics. That'd be awesome.
No shame in looking them up.
Yeah, you can look them up if you want.
Right? They're not even online yet, so I can't even just like there they are.
You don't
they
have
are
them written
scattered
down?
in bits and pieces somewhere, like various places around my phone.
Okay.
I could not tell you where at all. But I would say the chorus of Fool Me Once is pretty dope. And I'm not even sure I wrote that. I think Julian did, actually. I wrote the original one, and he took most of the words and the melody and he mixed them all up and made something different that was even better. And that chorus is awesome because I like what it's very heartfelt. And sometimes I like being able to indulge in being a little sad boy sometimes.
Yeah.
So it comes out real nice.
Hell yeah.
That's good.
All right. So what song on this EP took the longest to write, and which one is your personal favorite?
The answer to both is No Pleasure. It was Fool Me Once originally in terms of how long it took, but in terms of sheer hours that I spent making it, No Pleasure takes the cake by a long shot just because of how many stupid, just this week, literally 4 days ago, whatever, changes that I've been making to that song for no reason. People, my friends that I showed it to in March loved it, and here I am, whatever. So the point is that it's final and it's coming out, and I'm really proud of it. I wish it was a little bit better, I'm not going to lie, but part of this whole thing for me is kind of being like, I know, but part of it's like, you got to accept benchmarks and like when you're ready to kind of just be like, all right, this is what I can do. Even if I want it to sound a little bit better, this is what I can do. I'm going to try something else now, I guess.
Yeah, I thought it was funny when you were like, oh, we scheduled this like a week and a half ago, and I was like, so like the EP stream, please, so we can listen to it ahead of time. And you're like, well, it's not done yet. Like I can send you what I have, but like it's not its final form. And I'm like, dude, you announce it and it comes out in like 2 weeks.
In my defense, in our defense, when it was announced, it was done. There is a done form of it that was ready. Like if it had gone out that day, that way, fine. It just so happens that because nobody's asking for the music from us except for DistroKid, I'm just like, all right, well, let me keep making adjustments.
Let me fuck around a little bit.
Why not? I can. And I mean, if I'm being honest, I don't know if it would be, at this point, it's all vain stuff, so I don't know if it's going to make a difference to somebody who's heard it before or after, but I do think that the song has really made a significant leap from the beginning of this month to when I actually submitted them.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
And you just have to keep editing them until you're like fully confident. Because if you put something out and like a week later you're like, I could have changed that. I didn't have to rush that quickly. So it's like as long as you're confident in it and like take as many edits. Well, not like too many edits. Don't like drive yourself crazy.
Well,
but,
the magic of Spotify and streaming is that you can put something out and then just change it anyway, and then just re-upload it.
I mean, some people don't think so, but I've done it before, and I think I'll do it again. I almost changed the masters on. I did change the masters, but I almost changed the mixes on Nightlife Typing and Fallback. So those will be, the masters will be slightly different. Not that anybody will notice, but the whole thing sounds together.
That's crazy.
It's fun.
That's crazy.
We can do these things. Technology is awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. So would you be able to tell us where Headspace is at while you were creating this EP?
Yeah, it was everywhere. It was, I mean, I was at the highest place I'd ever been because I'd been being validated for the thing I'd wanted to be validated for so long, right? And there's no words that can describe that feeling, which is awesome. And that anybody gives any kind of shit, woo, thank you. Like, what the fuck? But then with all the pressure that I put on myself, that other people put on us, finding our sound, blah, 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 like that was just not fun. And they say love the journey, and I'll look back on it really fondly because there are parts where you realize you are learning. But yeah, it was not fun. Very, very dark. I think I said that about the last one too, which is funny. But no, pretty dark at times. But a lot of elation here or there. I mean, the fact that they're coming out is a statement of like, we did it, kind of, in a sense anyway. So with all the darkness that comes with it, there's always a silver lining.
Oh yeah, I'm glad that you guys didn't like cave under the pressure. Like you were able to kind of prevail through it.
No, if anybody would have been me. But Julian and Isaiah have their heads on real straight.
It's and they were there to keep your head on straight. They were holding it for you.
Yep, they were trying their goddamn best. We worked it out. It's awesome. We're here.
Hell yeah. So how do you recommend your fans to listen to this EP for the first time? Should they do it in the car with friends, in the dark with headphones on? Is it a workout EP, party EP? What do you personally recommend?
Damn, you led with the car, and it made me realize like this might scare the hose. But maybe put it on in the car, maybe not. I would say headphones if you can, because I'm selfish. I want you to hear all the production and how it makes you feel as a whole. And I don't know. I feel like in every way that you listen to it, you'll get a different experience. But with headphones specifically, like there are parts of No Pleasure where you kind of go warping through a cityscape or something. And there are parts of Fool Me Once where it feels like you're kind of flying, and like things like that you can't really get outside of the headphones, which again is kind of selfish of me because that's where I mix them and make them and all that.
Fair enough. Glory, you can put this on your Scaring the Hose playlist.
See, I was actually going to say, I feel like this music would get you hoes. Like if you play this for somebody.
Right?
I'm just saying, like if you play it, I feel like this would attract the hoes instead of scaring them away.
That is a high compliment. Thank you, Glory.
Of course, man. I'm only telling the truth here.
We're not scaring the hose no more. We definitely were for a long time. It's fine.
Nah, man. So this one should be super, super quick. Off the top of your head, I want you to describe this EP for new listeners in 3 words. No more, no less.
Adventurous in listening and in the way that we made it. Energetic. And fun. The music needs to be fun. And yeah, it won't scare the hose if it's fun.
So
there
true.
you go.
Right?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So we're learning here and there.
Oh, yeah. So in that same train of thought, is there a certain feeling or emotion you want listeners to have while going through the EP?
Not just yet, because I don't really have a statement yet. You know what I mean? We don't really have a a cohesive thing that we're saying yet, but we're asking questions right now. You know what I mean? We're kind of wondering, like I said before, excuse me, why is it that we're so obsessed with nostalgia and that hit? Because nostalgia is so fleeting, right? We as a society, oh God, here we go. We live in a society just for a moment.
Your Joker arc.
Right? But just for a moment, like where we're at now with everything, I can't, everything. It feels like nostalgia and that little hit of what once was is interesting, not just because it's about what once was, but because of what that represents. Because the 80s were a time when like people were excited about the future specifically. All these sounds were happening, all these synths and weird techno things were happening because everybody was like, whoa, the year 2000 is going to rule. And then we got there and like the Y2K music's so cool because it is so like we're here and we kind of think we're in the future, but what are we doing here?
Yeah.
I'm getting off topic, but the point is that we're asking kind of questions about why it is that we want to do that and why we love nostalgia so much. And when we get to the bottom of it, we'll have a statement and then we'll tell you. And that'll probably be the album.
Oh, okay.
Album.
Is there an album in the horizon, or is it just going to be EPs and singles for now?
The album has a name and a structure. It doesn't exist yet, but there are songs that can exist within it that do exist.
Okay.
And I don't mean the ones that are out. I mean that are being made.
Yeah.
But no, for right now in the immediate future, you can look for more singles and EPs for like another few months. And then like maybe this time next year, we'll kick it into album mode or something.
Oh.
Interesting. So the countdown begins.
Consider me excited.
Yeah.
I mean, I said that, and then I was reading our press release from last year, and it said that we were going to do the album in the fall of this year. So
Yeah.
that's not anyway.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Don't put a time on it.
And you might have said it last time we spoke too. I couldn't tell you.
Likely. Very likely. But nah, I mean, to me, the album is like a here's what we want to say kind of moment, and I'm still figuring that out. So when like with every fucking thing else, when I feel like we're ready, we'll do it.
That's fair enough. No rush.
That's good.
Well, thank you.
So
Appreciate
while
it.
listening to this EP, what band or artist influence do you think you could hear the most, if any?
God. The thing that I love about this band is that all three of us listen to so much shit. Like, what connects us is a love for music, among a bunch of other things. And that means, like, when I think of No Pleasure, I think of Magdalena Bay. I think of Pink Pantheress. I think of Flying Lotus. I think of Thundercat. People like that. When I think of Hard For Me, I think of The Weeknd and Chase Atlantic and Bryson Tiller and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Fool Me Once, I think of Beyonce. I think of, the 80s singers my dad liked, both the hard ones and not. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That one I can't describe, which is interesting. Fallback was Jessie Ware worship and Luther Vandross worship. Cool in the Gang worship. Same with nightlife type beat. Lots of worship of the 70s. Stevie Wonder.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, I pulled nightlife type beat straight from two different songs. One by Michael Jackson and another by, Luther Vandross. Nobody asked me that yet, so I just went the fuck off on a machine gun. I'm so sorry.
You're good.
No,
But
please keep going if you can.
I think I hit a lot of them. I mean, the whole idea is just like what I love about what we've done so far is that every song is inspired from a different place and thus uses like a different palette, and everything is approached in an entirely different way. So when we feel like Beyonce's album is inspiring me like crazy right now, and I know I've had in my head this song that we're gonna do that I haven't started yet for like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
That I know I want to make specifically because of how the Beyonce album makes me feel. Like things like that. So I like that question. I appreciate it.
That's so sick. Of course, yeah.
So what is your favorite memory that you made while creating this EP?
There was definitely the same with New Low when we were making Fallback. There was definitely like a oh shit moment where we realized, I think it was when we were recording the guitar solo, me and Julian. We were like, this is happening. This is pretty hip, because if you're at the point where you're at a writing session, you go, all right, we need a guitar solo. You know that the spirits are already high. You're not in the dumps going, let's put a guitar solo here. No, like we were flying. So that was really cool. Whenever that happens, you're reminded that like it wasn't a mistake and that it will happen again, hopefully, So that was great.
Oh yeah.
It's very wholesome. That's good. So for these last couple questions, we're actually going to shift completely away from music, if that's okay with you.
Let's go.
Great. So if you could be one animal for the rest of your life, which animal would you be and why?
Turtle. Easy.
And why?
They do live a long time, which is more of a con in my opinion, but they live very calm, peaceful lives, and if they're fortunate enough to. Yeah. I think I need to specify more tortoise, not turtle. I think the tortoises are quite peaceful as a species. I would like to embody the tortoise.
The tortoise?
That's good.
That's good.
All right.
That's a very good pick.
So if you could have lunch with any celebrity artist, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Can I have dinner with Beyonce? I know that's such a cop-out answer. But
no, not at all.
How crazy would that be? What conversations would happen there? What do I talk about with Beyonce? I would have to have a list of questions and then throw it away because that's not how you interact with people. And then
that's how we do it.
Right? Well, maybe
true.
I should take notes, right? But I don't know. I would just hope that I wouldn't fall apart and that I could learn something from being in the presence of somebody so confident, self-assured, talented, earned, and wise. That was the word. Wise.
All right.
I'll go with Beyonce.
I'd be so scared to have like lunch with Beyonce because it's like, does she start the conversation? Do I start the conversation? I feel like we just kind of like stare at each other for a little bit. It'd be kind of weird.
At first, right?
Yeah.
I feel like when you get to that level of celebrity, part of it is like that you can bring out conversation in people. So I would hope that you would just go off. And I saw a video of like Post Malone talking to some kid the other day. I was like, damn, these motherfuckers are naturals.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay.
So
that's good.
He was hoping.
Yeah. So for this last question, boom, you're on a deserted island. You could bring one person, one movie, and one album. Who and what are you bringing?
Deserted island, one person, one movie, one album. I'm gonna bring my mom because she's a great hang.
Yeah.
That's just facts. One album. I'm gonna bring Jessie Ware's What's Your Pleasure? I can never get tired of that album. It's new, but I still timeless. I will listen to it till I die. And one movie. Just to add some spice to it, and because it was brought up earlier, The Joker. Just for fun. Just to have
the newest
that there.
One?
Yeah. Just to
Oh my
have it
god,
there.
you're gonna be you'd be
Not-
depressed the entire time, dude.
What's Your Pleasure versus the Joker is a very nice juxtaposition. I feel like that, to the point where, like, when we watch the Joker, my mom and I will be very much laughing at the entire thing, and laughing with him at points, of course, because
Oh, of course.
what are you gonna do? My dude's busting a gut, so.
What can you do? Yeah.
Fair enough. So as Gloria said, that's all the questions we have today. Is there anything that you would like to plug?
Jeez, this flew by. Thank you guys for your time,
Of
as
course.
always.
Always a fuck.
A pleasure. Always a pleasure, Shane.
So true. So true. Words are so hard,
Yeah.
especially when there's a microphone.
I
It's
wasn't
like-
gonna say pleasure. I was gonna say like always a blast or some shit. But my brain wanted to say pleasure, and I didn't want to say pleasure because that's not typically how I speak to like the guests. I'm like, oh, it's always a blast chatting.
Just had a banger time.
Yeah.
we've been throwing pleasure around a lot today, so it's fine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna plug the EP. I mean, we do have more music coming for the rest of the year. How much, it depends on how much I get done, but yeah, listen to the EP. Listen to it with headphones if you can. Tell me what you think, and if anyone cares about how it sounds, tell me how you feel about that too, because I want to get better, and I don't know why my guitars disappear all the time and all this other stuff. Anyway, listen to the EP. Yeah.
All right.
Killing it. I'm such a good front person. I'm
That was
so
a
good
great
at this.
plug.
You're great at
Natural.
it. Don't worry.
Easy.
Well, thank you for now. This has been Hansel from Nightlife, and we have been the Good Noise Podcast.